Hey everybody, it's your boy J Dub, and I'm back at it again. Y'all know what time it is. Y'all know what day it is. Y'all know how important 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Roughly in a few minutes, the review embargo for Starfield is going to be lifted, and you're gonna see a bunch of memes, a bunch of gifs. You're gonna see a bunch of screaming and yelling and fighting back and forth. A bunch of angry fanboys and a bunch of happy fanboys. Specifically for one of the biggest games of the year, Starfield. That's right, Starfield. One of the biggest games of the year. Now, I was lucky to be able to get my hand on a review copy, and I've basically been playing the game for the last 2 weeks. This here is some of the gameplay that I captured from it, and I'm going to give you a little bit more my in-depth of what I think about the game. Did I enjoy it? Did I think it was good, bad, things that they could improve, or if this game is GOTY caliber? Got the game booted up, got into the game. I'll be honest, I'm going to start with the negatives, and then I'm going to finish this review off with the positives. I think that's the best way for me to do it. So, the negatives. Let's get this out the way. I think the biggest negatives for me are the load screens. This game doesn't seem to be taking advantage of the SSD at all. From the dashboard, and the time that I clicked the button on Starfield to go into the game, it took me roughly 1 minute and 30 seconds. I repeat, 1 minute and 30 seconds. And I know that because I timed it. I recorded a video that was showing the loading from the main screen to your character, and you can move around. And this day and age, guys, with next generation, because of these SSDs, that just took me aback. With all of these consoles able to do instant loading and quick resume and velocity engine stuff and SSD, all that stuff, it kind of made me, it just reminded me that this game perhaps was made for the previous generation. I mean, this game, it's a big game. And so I don't know. I'm looking forward to Digital Foundry to come out and say, are they using the SSD? Because if they are, I mean, are the assets that big where it just takes that long to load into a game? And another thing, while we're talking about SSD and loading, there's a ton of loading screens, a ton of everything you do. There's a loading screen. If you want to climb a ladder, on the ship to go up, there's a loading screen. That means the screen goes black for about 3 to 4 seconds, and then you'll make it there. Even quick travel, right? It's not instantaneous. You're gonna wait 4 to 5 seconds for screens to appear. It just reminds me of Fallout 4. Some may say, "Hey, that's okay. This is a Bethesda game. That's what we're known for." That is true, but this here is another generation. This game is only available on the Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S and PC. It is not available on the old platforms. So I think that's one way I would, that's one negative. It kind of took me out of the experience. It just took me out of the immersion. And I got quite frustrated because of it. But that's not the end all be all. I think the next thing that I would, say that I think was a negative is the menu system. While it is simple, this game does not hold your hand. It does not explain everything to you. Some things you're just going to figure out. You have to figure out on your own. And so sometimes, I mean, it took me a couple of hours to figure out some things I just didn't know. And it was like, oh my God, I can do this. I didn't know that. So maybe if there was a strategy guide, I would purchase to kind of teach me a lot about it. This game doesn't hold your hand. Not saying that that's necessarily a negative, but you are going to, some people are going to find themselves going hours deep into this game without knowing some of the basic functions and features. Two. No. Let's go to three. I'll go to the next negative thing. This game, it's a good looking game. I repeat, it is a good looking game. Now, granted, I played it on the Xbox Series X. And while I didn't have any performance issues, I didn't have any frame stutters or anything. This game runs at a 30 frames a second. So I personally didn't experience any issues. But this game doesn't have a next generation feature at all. And what do I mean by next generation feature? Well, why do you call your game next generation, right? This generation is the current generation we're in is defined based off performance modes, resolution options, ray tracing, no loading screens, instant loading. I guess we would refer to that as that. 3D audio, controller options, just that kind of sums up this generation. Well, this game has none of that. So outside of this game just being available on the current gen platforms only, none of the features of the Xbox Series X or S is being taken into account with this. Maybe because this game, maybe it was because it was particularly made during the last generation. I don't know. These are just some things that I think maybe Digital Foundry and other publications will say. Maybe Todd Howard can come in and say. Again, I don't want to knock it too much, but I believe points are going to be taken from that. I think points are going to be deducted. Next generation system. This is a first party title, and you're not using any of the power, any of the features. So I don't know. The assets look pretty good. I didn't find any problem with it. So graphics were definitely. I would even go on the good side. It was good graphics. It's not going to blow your mind. I recently played a game called Fort Solace. That game, space exploration, it had the atmospheric, it had the graphics, it had the sound, it had the control, it had the instant loading. It may or may not have had ray tracing. I don't know, maybe ray tracing shadows and stuff, but the game looked like a next generation game or a current generation game. This game here looks like a Fallout. It is Fallout. It's basically a Fallout 4. That's how I would describe it as far as in graphics. It's a shiny or a little bit higher textures of Fallout 4. That's not bad for those who love Bethesda games. Who love that. Some people will say, "Oh, it's Bethesda. That's the kind of games they make. They don't make great looking graphically." And it's like, I understand that. Here's the problem. This is 2023. This is not 2005. Right? We can't go back to Skyrim and say, this is how Skyrim did. Again, it's not an ugly game by no stretch of the imagination. But it's not going to be top tier as far as in graphics. It's not that. Again, I honestly, I don't think this game is using the power of the Xbox Series consoles at all. Maybe CPU is using, but definitely from a graphical standpoint, it's not winning any graphical competitions. It's not holding up to any of Sony's first party games, which is fine. I'm okay with that. It is what it is. The last, I think, negative take that I would take from this game, I recently canceled my Constellation Edition. That's correct. I recently canceled my Constellation Edition. I did that because after about 8 hours of this game, I realized, hey, this is a good game, but this game is not worth $325. It is not. I think there are some shortcuts that may have been taken into this game, which is fine. I think for the most part, what we get is what it is. And think about it. This game can be had in Game Pass, right? Everybody's going to be playing this game in Game Pass. So I think because of that, I'm giving it a little leeway, but some people won't. Some people won't. I know people say hundreds of hours. There's a lot of side missions you can take with a lot of these characters. You can do a lot of stuff. Some of it is filler. Some of it is not. Some of it gives you nice things. Some of it doesn't. It just depends. A lot of people are going to say, "Oh, well, we'll let the mods take care of that." Listen, I'm buying the game today. If the mods don't have that stuff ready, I'm going to review it based on today and based on my gameplay and the hours that I put in. So you don't get credit for something that some amateurs could do later on after the fact. This is a game that Bethesda put in. Apparently, this game was 25 years into the making. So, go figure. Anyway, to me, I think those are the big negatives that most people would take into account. Now, let me go with the positives. And this is how I'll end the review on a positive note. There is no bugs. I haven't ran into any bugs. After 22 hours of gameplay, I haven't ran into any bugs. And Bethesda is notorious for bugs. So kudos to them for not having some janky stuff. This is one of the better Bethesda games as far as janky. Now, listen, you can see the screen right now. You can look at, I'm just opening the door. That's about 4 or 5 seconds, right? And I think that's okay. But after you start to explore this game for hours and hours and hours, you start to notice those load times kind of add up, and they rather get annoying. Anyway, back to the positives. No bugs, or very little bugs. I haven't ran into any bugs, but we'll see, right? Another positive. Believe it or not, the performance stays kind of solid. It's I guess a lock 30, solid 30. I didn't really have any issues. Even during combat, I didn't have, again, I'm playing on the Xbox Series X. I will be recording footage and posting the Xbox Series S version. So we'll see. We'll see how that turns out. But yeah, those are the two big things. The no bugs and performance hold solid. Let's see what else will be a positive. Those are for a Bethesda game, those have always been the two biggest crux. And I think they were able to, to basically remedy that. I think that was their number one priority. Listen, guys, we just don't want a broken games. We don't want a buggy game. And I think they set out for that. I do think they talk about the size of the planets and stuff like that. I'll be honest, I'll never touch most of that stuff. I'll go for some side missions. I'll go for the main missions to beat it, call it a day. Maybe if I got extra time or there's nothing else I just want to see and explore, I may go and visit some stuff. Did run across a bunch of pirate ships, a bunch of pirate stations. So you can get into a lot of combat there. Combat, again, seems to be solid. And I think for the most part, this game had so much riding on it. I don't want to go into minute details and nitpick stuff. I think, the positives was, for one, it's a Bethesda game. For two, can they fix the bugs? They seem to have fixed that. Another thing, is it janky? They seem to have tackled 70, 80, 90% of that. So it's not really, I didn't run into much jank, right? And last but not least, performance. I think they, for the most part, right? This is not, I wouldn't even call this a next generation game, but at least I didn't have any slowdowns. I didn't have any breakage of anything. And it was just, you kind of get credit just for not fumbling the ball. Maybe those are my standards for it, but for a Bethesda game, look how Fallout 76 came, right? Look what that debacle came, right? Even when Fallout 4 came out, Skyrim, all that stuff, right? The bugs, the jank. People will give it time. People will give it a year. People will give it 2 years, fix it, mod it, do all kind of stuff. But for a space exploration game, it just seems like it's in space, but I didn't feel immersed in space like I did Fort Solace, like I do No Man's Sky. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much my take, guys. I think it's a good game. I wouldn't call it a great game, but I think it's a good game. After the 8-hour, 10-hour mark, I can see my excitement kind of wane because I realized what the game is, and it just had Fallout stamped Fallout 4 stamped all over it, which I love Fallout 4, and I have hundreds and hundreds of hours in that. But again, I'm looking for a next generation game, and here's one take. Here's one take from it. I do think Bethesda need to get rid of this engine that they have. Maybe the creation engine is, of course, is long in the tooth. Maybe it's time for them to scrap it and start over with a brand new engine. You do not have to have 100, 200, 300 sandwiches, thousands of sandwiches stacked to the side. That doesn't do anything for anyone. It's a nice novelty to have, but could you have used those resources to do something else? And then I do take into account they had to, maybe this game was held back by the Series S on why they couldn't do a lot of other stuff, right? They had memory restraints because of the Series S. They had, all kind of other stuff. So I do give them, at least I do take that into account. But my review score for this game, I'm going to give it a solid 80. I can see this game Metacritic score wise getting about an 82 through an 84. I don't see it getting into the 90s because all the stuff that I talked about earlier. You can't call this a next generation game if you don't have anything to show next generation for. Some people want to say, oh, but this game is ambitious and it's big. It's like, technically it's not. It's not doing anything more than any other game before it have done, and we've seen that in the last few days, right? People poking holes in this game. I'm not going to knock it for that. I'm just giving you my honest review and my honest take on it after playing about 22 hours. And I have conversed with some friends and stuff who have actually played the game, and they kind of agree with me, and we're kind of on one accord with that. Again, I'm not, hey, this game could be a lot of things. It's not a 69 Metacritic, right? It's not that Xbox template. It's a good Xbox game, and it can be had in Game Pass. But was it that 11 out of 10 or that 10 out of 10 that it needed to be to bring Xbox back from the brink? No, it's not. Maybe that's unfair, but it is what it is. We knew that going in, right? Even Phil Spencer said, hey, this game could be 11 out of 10. It won't really change anything. It is what it is. Anyway, this is a small review that I wanted to bring you guys, let you guys know that I had the game, played the game. I thoroughly enjoyed the game. Again, I'm not going to knock it too much. I will give it the benefit of the doubt, right? Bethesda was making this game before Microsoft purchased them. So we'll see. We'll see how Metacritic shakes out. Either way, yes, I would spend $70 on this game, but I did not see me spending $325 for the Constellation Edition, for the watch and stuff like that. A tip: if you guys have the Starfield headphones and the controller, just know that controller, if you look on the controller, those things mean something. So while you're playing in game, if you look at the controller, that will give you some shortcuts, and that will let you know a lot of details that I guess I didn't know, and someone told me that, and it kind of blew my mind. So kudos to Todd Howard and the team over at Bethesda. They didn't drop the ball. This is not a Fallout 76 type situation. It is a good game. It is a good game, and I give it a solid B. I give it a solid B, and I think that's fair. You can call me a pony, you can call me biased, you can call me whatever, but again, that's my fair take, right? Hopefully you guys enjoy this game the way I did. I'm gonna keep cranking away at this game until I beat it, and we'll go from there. Anyway, man, I will see you guys on Twitter, YouTube, and everywhere else. Y'all take it easy. Peace.